was hard that I'm leaving my patients, but it felt good to see everyone support us.
So I'm confident in the capabilities and the competencies of the replacement nurses that we've brought in and their ability to continue to care for our community.
Good evening. In our top story at 5, Providence nurses hit the picket lines with nearly 2,000 of them now on strike, calling for, among other things, higher wages and better mental health care. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko. And while Providence brought in replacement nurses ahead of that walkout, the strike has already impacted services in some spots. Let's get right to Mike Benner, Providence Portland Medical Center. Mike, Portland is one of them. Remind us which other locations are affected.
Yeah, David, you said it. Providence Portland Medical Center is involved in this, and that explains the picketing that's going on behind me. These people have been out here since 5:30 this morning when the strike officially started. I can tell you that nurses are also picketing outside Providence Seaside and the Providence Home Services building.
This was the scene outside the Providence Home Services building on Northeast Halsey late Monday morning. A couple dozen nurses voicing their displeasure with Providence.
It's pretty discouraging. I mean, to have to stand outside and hold a sign in order for the employer to do what's right, that shouldn't have to come to that.
Pax Schneider is an occupational therapist for Providence and one of the approximately 1,800 nurses from Providence Portland, Providence Seaside, and Providence Home Health and Hospice who walked off the job Monday, the start of a 5-day strike.
Well, I certainly hope this makes a difference. It seems like we're kind of head on being challenged now, kind of go ahead and do your thing and, see you on the other side.
Schneider and his cohorts want higher wages and better health care, including mental health care and more paid time off and sick leave. Providence officials say their offer to nurses included 30 additional hours of PTO over 3 years, as well as a 12% raise in the first year of a contract, and additional 3% raises in the following 2 years.
This is a challenging time for them, for our nurses, for our community, and for all of us. So it'll be important that as this strike concludes, that we come back to the table, are able to negotiate a fair contract, and really move into healing and reconciliation.
Jennifer Gentry says while Providence did hire replacement nurses to cover for the hundreds of nurses who are striking, there's still a noticeable impact to Providence Seaside Hospital and Providence Portland Medical Center.
PPMC has reduced capacity by about 25% from normal operations, while Seaside has reduced capacity by about 50%.
As for Providence Home Health and Hospice, Gentry says there will be no interruption in care. Replacement nurses will work in that space too, but Pax Schneider wonders how successful that'll be.
We have a lot of really skilled clinicians and nurses, right? So what I do with patients, another person can't just show up and do. It doesn't work like that. And I don't think that our leadership understands that piece.
All right, Pax, you just heard from there, has been with Providence for about a decade. He is really disheartened by this whole thing. He wants to get back to work, and he will soon enough. We can tell you that this strike is slated to end late Friday. David?
And we'll see what it means for negotiations after that. Thank you, Mike. We are keeping a close eye on severe weather this evening after seeing a number of water spouts today just off the Oregon coast. That's after one was spotted over the Columbia near Camas on Sunday. According to the National Weather Service, there were 5 water spouts in the Cannon Beach area. A couple of our viewers captured these images of at least 2 of the water spouts just before 10:30 this morning at Rockaway Beach. Look at them coming down there. Gianni Poloni says he was having breakfast with his family and they were completely caught off guard.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I mean, nothing that I've ever seen before, for sure. And I didn't expect to ever experience it. We saw a fishing boat out in the water, just going as fast as they could away from it.
Well, Poloni says the water spout seemed to linger for about 10 minutes or so offshore before it started to dissipate. And in case you missed it, a tornado touched down in Lynn County on Sunday. This was in Harrisburg, about 20 miles north of Eugene. You can see the rotation there as it starts to touch down and pick up some debris. Witnesses say it was on the ground for about 2 minutes there. The National Weather Service calls it an EF0 tornado, and there were no reports, fortunately, of damage or injuries. Let's bring in meteorologist Joe Ranieri now. Joe, how unusual is this?
Well, it's not uncommon, but it's not common either. Now, again, to see almost a half a dozen water spouts, I should say make it number 7 because there's another one spotted near Salem just a couple of hours ago. A little uncommon, but still, we have some very active weather out there. And to talk more about the tornado from yesterday afternoon in Harrisburg near Eugene, wind speeds from the National Weather Service, they believe was right around 65 miles an hour. But again, no injuries and no reports of damage. But again, this is the other one that was spotted. This is another funnel cloud just south of Salem. This popped up on the radar just I'd say right around 3:15, 3:30 this afternoon. Again, there still could be a chance to see more severe weather here the next couple of hours. As we take a live look now from our Rose City camera, we are looking at temperatures in the mid-50s. Heavy downpours throughout much of the metro area. You can kind of see as we look toward southeast Portland. Now on the radar, we're picking up a little bit of some snow showers throughout the Oregon Cascades, but again, between now and I'd say about 7, 8 o'clock tonight, that's that window where we're still going to be seeing some heavy showers, some hail, maybe some lightning as well. Some of these rainfall amounts are pretty impressive. This one cell that's moving in just throughout parts of downtown Portland is bringing in more than an inch of rain per hour. Again, these are some fast moving storms, but again, there could be some areas where we could see some street flooding, so be aware of that. And again, we're going to be looking at calmer conditions heading into the next couple of days. I'll talk more about that in just a few minutes.
Yeah, chilly, messy, and definitely unsettled. Thank you, Joe. Developing this evening in Vancouver, one man is under arrest after police say he crashed a stolen car, then ran from them and tried to hide at a shopping center. Ashley Grams is near Northeast 162nd and 4th Plain. So Ashley, walk us through what we know about this guy and what witnesses there saw.
Yeah, David, I'm behind that shopping center and a restaurant called Casa Colima, and I talked to employees at the restaurant that tell me that suspect ran through this doorway during a food delivery this morning, and they say the suspect was trying to hide in the rafters of the restaurant. But this all started down the street before 8 in the morning. Police say the man was a suspect in a robbery and was seen driving a stolen car. Officers tried to pull him over, but he drove away, crashed the car, and then took off. He ran into this restaurant at the Heritage Market Center on East 4th Plain. Vancouver police and SWAT evacuated some businesses while they searched the complex, and it wasn't until several hours later the man surrendered and was arrested at about 1 o'clock. Vancouver police said there was also a second man in a second stolen car with the suspect, but he surrendered and was taken into custody this morning. Of course, police have cleared all of these businesses, including Safeway, and they are now back open. David? Yeah, glad everybody is okay. Ashley Grams in Vancouver. Thank you, Ashley. This evening, there are mounting questions from concert goers and officials in Washington state about a mass shooting at a music festival in central Washington that left 2 people dead, plus 3 people, including the shooter, injured. Police say that shooter fired randomly into a crowd Saturday night at a campground next to the Gorge Amphitheater. That is in Grant County, where the Beyond Wonderland Weekend Music Festival was underway. Deputies responded. It is unclear how the shooter was injured. They have not at this point been identified. Sunday's performances were then canceled. One festival goer from Portland said he hopes this does not scare music fans away from future events.
I can see it being a big deal for like new ravers, is because they're trying to get that good experience and have some good time, and then all of a sudden a big deal like an active shooter is going to be traumatizing for many people.
Well, officials now tell us they are treating the incident as an officer-involved shooting. The sheriff's office says they plan to release the identities of the victims in the coming days. We are learning about another casualty of that global cyber attack that hit the Oregon DMV. Today, Umpqua Bank confirms it was impacted by that massive breach. So far, the Portland-based bank says there is no indication any customer's data has been compromised, though keep in mind, the bank says it is still investigating. Last week, state officials said the personal information of roughly 3.5 million Oregonians who hold driver's licenses or ID cards may have been hacked. Officials say cyber criminals exploited a vulnerability in a popular file transferring program to steal files from various large corporations and government agencies. We'll keep you posted.